Dan Moyer is the president of the class of 2013. As president, he has provided leadership and taken responsibility to enhance communication between faculty and students. His dedication to the class and professional yet kind demeanor has been instrumental to smoothing out some of the rough spots in the day-to-day lives of a physician assistant program. Mr. Moyer would like to provide a few remarks on behalf of the class of 2013.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the class of 2013, I would like to welcome everyone to our long white coat ceremony. By calling this our long white coat ceremony, I don't mean I'm going to talk for 2 hours. What I am referring to is the time-honored tradition of medical graduates receiving full-length or long white coats in comparison to our receiving waist-length or short white coats, which we received upon beginning rotations. Our short white coats got a lot of use during our rotations, and they were especially convenient because they had so many pockets. On my first rotation, my white coat pockets were so full of papers, books, and tools of the trade that I was told by a patient I looked like a Boy Scout. Nevertheless, we're all excited to don our long white coats this afternoon. Let us begin. As I'm sure you know, each and every one of us has been very busy over the past 27 months. First completing 12 months of didactic education, then completing 9 rotations in different areas of medicine, and culminating in a board review course during the month of February. Finally, today, we celebrate the ending of our journey as physician assistant students. Let's quickly recap the experience we have gone through. During our first year of PA school, we were taking 6 or 7 classes each semester. As an example of what class was like, we learned anatomy in 4-hour lecture blocks. And when we didn't think we could handle learning one more muscle insertion points or nerve innervation, we were encouraged to keep pushing forward with Greek yogurt and clementines by our very conscious professor. Thanks, Cheryl. We also spent time in our first and second year here at DHMC in the simulation laboratory practicing on robotic patients. Our Professor Frank would be in the adjacent room, watching us through a one-way mirror, controlling the patient's medical situation, and actually talking as the patient as well. Sometimes the medical situations were quite complex, and if we got stuck, the voice of God would enter the room. The voice of God was actually Frank stepping out of the patient role and giving us a tip about the best way to proceed. I would like to personally thank the voice of God for helping me. Thanks, Frank. We also spent time here at DHMC practicing on mannequins, those skills you just don't want to practice on each other, like IVs, lumbar punctures, and endotracheal intubations. Our day wasn't over when lectures or labs ended. In the evening and on the weekends, you could find us at various study locations, including the Medical School Library at Dartmouth College, local libraries, classmates' homes and apartments, study rooms at this institution, and even a campsite. Our second year, on rotation, found us traveling to various states in the Northeast, as well as states far away, including Montana, Hawaii, Oregon, North and South Carolina, and Michigan. One of my classmates is an avid fisherman and enjoyed rotations far away, not only for the medical experience he received, but also because of prime fishing locations. I know this because of the nice looking picture of several trout that he put on Facebook during rotation. Through rotations, we became acquainted with a new preceptor and associate staff 9 times, a new hospital or clinic, and a new charting system, either paper or electronic. We learned how to interview patients and complete physicals, decide what tests to order, and treat patients. Sometimes in the course of seeing a patient, we need to educate them on the role of a PA. During my rotations, I was addressed as doctor several times, told to go to nursing school after I finish what I'm doing, and lastly told, "You look young enough to be my son," more than one occasion. An exciting part of being on rotations was working with other medical students and residents. We tested our knowledge against that of medical students and found out we compared fairly well. For example, some of us completed our psychiatry rotation here at DHMC in the inpatient psychiatry unit. We worked with Dartmouth medical students and shared similar rotation objectives and expectations, such as rounding on patients, interviewing patients, writing notes, and suggesting treatment options. In addition, on some rotations we were the only student in the clinic at that time, and possibly even the first PA student that they had ever had. First impressions are important, and my classmates represented not only Franklin Pierce University well, but also the physician assistant profession. I'd like to recognize and thank our class leaders, starting with our class officers, who include Corey Bainton, Kristen Schillinger, Becca Lettman, and Stuart Sutherland. Leaders of class committees included Beth Eichler, Becky Vangola, Jessica Case, Becky Zebo, and Kristen Schillinger as well. Last but not least, Mackenzie Monahan and George Smirnudas pulled double duty, both as representatives to Vermont, New Hampshire, and as my personal Secret Service detail. Everyone, thank you for your service. A big thank you also goes to our faculty, office staff, and guest lecturers. We have gotten to know many of you well, and appreciate your dedication to our class. I would also like to thank Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center for hosting us here today, and Geisel School of Medicine at Dartmouth College for letting us use their facilities and sharing their faculty. And classmates, it was a privilege and honor to serve as your class president. Thank you. President Teddy Roosevelt wrote the following words before he became president in the year 1900. Now, I hope if President Franklin Pierce were here, would forgive me for using the words of a different president. The best men or women I know are good at their studies or their business, fearless and stalwart, hated and feared by all that is wicked and depraved, incapable of submitting to wrongdoing, and equally incapable of being aught but tender to the weak and helpless. Let me adapt and explain this quote in the context of our current time and profession, and how I hope it can influence you as a physician assistant. I believe that the best PAs are good at their studies and their business. They embrace the continuing educational requirement that they signed up for by joining the medical profession. They keep up to date on medical advances, new research by reading journals and other sources by which medical information is distributed. They are attuned to their strengths and their weaknesses, and continually try to improve in areas that they are weak. They are receptive to feedback and work to the best of their ability in their physician-led team. I believe when needed, a physician assistant advocates for the profession, their business, and the political arena in the way they find most appropriate. I believe the best PAs are fearless and stalwart in the presence of other medical providers, thankfully few, that willfully treat their patients with substandard care. The best PAs are disliked by these providers because they know we will not tolerate poor care and we will speak up when we see injustice. The best PAs are incapable of submitting to wrongdoing, both when others are watching and not watching. They will not shortcut their patients because they are stressed or it is 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. They live lives of integrity and humility. I believe the best PAs view their careers not just as a job, but as a calling to service. They treat and advocate for their patients as they would treat or advocate for a family member. The weak and helpless in society are just as important as any other patient that they treat. PA school is tough, but so are all of us. We made it. We have now completed a physician assistant curriculum that is designed to be very challenging. Through the adversity we faced, through hardship, we grew as individuals and as a class. Paradoxically, It can often take significant difficulty in one's life to grow as people. In conclusion, never forget we live in a great country, a shining city on a hill, the United States of America, and that because of our freedoms and values, we can enjoy the life and career ahead of us. And lastly, don't forget that we are all connected by a unique bond, now having completed this program, and that we should stay connected and help each other when needed. My best wishes are with each and every one of you as you begin your careers as a physician assistant.